So I looked down at my hands and it was covered in blood. The blisters on my hand were all open and it felt like rope. My hands felt like rope. I held the shovel. Every time I touched the shovel, pain just seared through my hands. But I had to keep digging. I was digging a trench. And it was almost like digging your own grave because I would have to live in it for days. We had 2 days and 2 nights to finish digging our trenches and a whole bunch of other holes on this hill. And every time the shovel would hit the earth, it would spark because we were digging into rock. Started to rain. I was drenched, cold, pain searing through my hands. And the trench was actually starting to flood. Was I going to drown? The thought crossed my mind, but the pain in my hands were so strong that I didn't really care about that anymore. The water actually felt good, cooling my hands. And every time we started to dig and making headway into digging it deeper and deeper, the water would push a lot of the earth down, and it seemed like we weren't making any headway. It was painful. It was uncomfortable. I felt like a wet rag is trying to survive, and at some point we felt like we were the earth. Like I felt like I was mud and I was the soil because it was so just a part of it. It was in our obviously our fingernails and in our boots, and because of the rain, it's in my ears, up my nose. I was earth. And at that point in time, I remember looking up at the sky and I said to myself in my head, why are we doing this again? Why are we doing this? Being in the Singapore military, you do weird things. You do things, right? Being in the military. And in Singapore, you had to serve. It was mandatory. And so when I look down at my hands, look up into the sky, and ask myself that question, I was almost smiling and laughing because it just was so disconnected from me. And that's where I found a power within myself, which was being able to smile and laugh when things are uncomfortable or when things are really hard. Because the perspective to me was that we are alive. We're alive. It is painful. Pain is a feeling we all have and we all get to have if we're alive. And so, for you, have you ever felt like that before? Where you had times where it was so challenging, but you were able to disconnect yourself and think about, hey, this is life. And if you have, use that. And I've used that in many areas of my life. At first, I thought it was weird when I was younger. But as I grew older, it's a strength that you can take and use. And you haven't, try asking yourself some questions about pain and about discomfort. And use that. Use that as a power. Because I believe we all grow only through pain and only through discomfort. Of course, I'm not talking about hurting yourself. It's not about that. It's about Training is about doing the things that you don't want to do, getting your body out of comfort so you grow. That's the only way we all grow, because we are so happy momentarily of being still and just doing the same old things again and again and again and again, when your body and your mind needs discomfort for you to grow, for you to have self-respect, for you to become the person that you should become because of the potential in you, not because of what others tell you to do. So try it out. Whenever it's discomforting, whenever you feel that you might not be able to push through, think differently, step back. We are alive, and so we can feel this discomfort and pain. It's not going to last. Just keep pushing through. After 4 days of digging, we completed our trenches. That was the time where the only time that I was awake, well, barely awake, for 84 hours straight. I remember blacking out, in and out, as we completed the exercise, trying to carry barbed wire and things like that. It's definitely not the safest thing to do. But we pushed through. We completed the exercise. We dug our own graves. We were in there defending this hill from no one, really, except for our own training. And by being upbeat, by smiling, even though I look like a swamp thing covered in mud and soil, my teammates in the platoon took that on as, hey, let's enjoy this time. Let's enjoy being happy. Even though we're in the worst possible condition, relatively speaking, we smiled. And that helped the team do what's needed to do. So think about that too as you lead your teams into hardship, lead your families across tough times. How can you be the shining light? How can you be the beacon of hope? Just by simply switching that mental thought that, hey, it's not so bad. We are alive. I hope you're able to take away something from that. I'll see you next time. Bye. This is Howie again. I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you want to see more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me in my various social channels, all down there in the notes. And I'll see you soon. Take care.